Hello, everybody. Helen Chin Lui here. Um, Here I am being a little bit confused. Welcome to the Healing Place Energy School. For those people who do not know me, I am a certified reflexologist, certified energy medicine practitioner, a Reiki master and teacher, and I am the owner of the Healing Place and the Healing Place Energy School. So I welcome you, my Facebook family, my Instagram family, my YouTube family. So you're going to have to bear with me. I'm trying these new technology today, and I am learning a whole bunch of things. And I'm trying to be a producer plus the creator and do all kinds of wonderful stuff. I welcome you very much to the Healing Place Energy School. And it's not often that I do a live Ask the Reflexologist. So if you have comments that you would like questions about reflexology or energy healing, please join in and just talk with us. And one of the key things I love about doing these talks, they're very spontaneous, and I am willing to listen and answer the very best I can questions. For those people who know me, I've been a certified professional reflexologist since 2006. And I probably have given approximately 10,000, probably more than that, Reflexology Association. I figured it was probably closer to 13,000, but I realized that's a lot of lessons, not lessons, but healings that I've given. And I really am very proud of all the things that I've learned over, I would say, the last 15 years. In fact, I'm going to celebrate. And today's subject is Awaken Your Inner Healer. For those people who don't know about my journey, it all began probably, I would say 20 years ago, 25 years ago, when my son was sick. And we gave away our healing powers to doctors. Not that doctors are bad. It is just that doctors have their place, but they don't know everything. As much as they think they know everything, they just don't. And unfortunately, they do not know other than symptoms, and there they are trying to correct whatever ails you. They don't necessarily know what I think, from my observation from 10,000 sessions, is not only healing physically, it's emotionally, and also from your spirit. So there's Sarah and Alaska. Hello, everybody. And feel free to ask questions as we go on. This is one of the things that I love about these live chats, because it's very inclusive. It gives you a chance, if you have questions about energy medicine and reflexology, to feel free to jump in. And don't be shy, because if you're shy, you're the one that's going to lose out. It's very rare, because very rare that all the way, Sarah is from Johannesburg. Good morning. I don't know, Sarah, what time is it in your town? Because it's 11 o'clock a.m. on Sunday morning, as you know, here in Massachusetts. So coming back to my son's journey, and the doctors gave him a label. Besides, he was sick. He was physically sick, and then eventually he became emotionally sick, because unfortunately, if you don't know, as a small child at the age of 10, it's 504 in Africa, if you are sick and nobody could give you a diagnosis, and you are lying awake in your bed at 8, imagine 9 years in bed, you have a throbbing migraine headache, and you have health issues, you have absolutely no idea what it is, nor do the doctors. In fact, as my husband would say, the pediatrician misdiagnosed his symptoms again. In fact, it was my mother who recognized that my son, she said, I think he has a thyroid condition. Talk to your doctor about this. And how would my mom know? When we were growing up, out of my 2 brothers and 2 sisters, there's 5 of us, 3 of us had thyroid condition. And I never could understand how a doctor could overlook those symptoms and can't figure out what was wrong. So it took us, and then unfortunately, my boy was, as part of the side effects, he had what I call ice pick migraine headaches. They were so painful that I remember at the age of 9, he, 1 month in December, that Christmas month, he only got out of bed one time, one day. That was it. Otherwise, he was in bed for almost 30 straight days. And I remember thinking to myself, no child should suffer like this. So what I did proactively, I went library hopping, trying to learn as much as I could about what ails him, what can cause migraine headaches. And back then, 25 years ago, we didn't have a home computer as of yet. And I did a lot of research, especially with people with migraine headaches. Most of the time, it begins in the stomach. This upset caused by diet, or the body's too acidy. And what happens, it creates an imbalance in the body. So my poor boy, we finally broke his migraine headaches with a motion sickness pill. And then once he started to improve, and finally, the doctors gave him a diagnosis that his thyroid was out of whack. And he was put on the motion sickness pill, and that broke the migraine. Can you believe that? Motion sickness pill. I was absolutely astonished. How could this be? And I remember he started to eventually went from a physical condition to a mental, because it's very lonely to be sick. And even though I was there to take care of him and to talk to him and his brother and his father, but when you're lying in bed and you have no idea what it is that's making you ill. And I remember at the age of nine, he was wishing he wasn't alive anymore. That probably was the most heartbreaking story I've ever heard. No parent should hear their child say to them, I don't want to live anymore. I am in such pain. So slowly over the years, trying to understand what was going on with him. So after his thyroid was balanced, all of a sudden he had mental issues, kind of like PTSD, the post-trauma of getting better. And that really, the illness he was sick for, I would say 10 years before we figured out what it was. It went from doctor to doctor. He started to get sick at the age of 5, and it was very, very subtle, almost to the point only a parent, hopefully hi Sanders, I hope only a parent who has keen observation would say, something is not right. And I'm one of those people, I think nothing of calling doctors and being a pain in their rear ends. People say, well, it's kind of like impolite to call. I said, I don't care. And for those people who really know my history, before I became a parent, I used to be a professional radio producer. So I think nothing of calling you 20, 50 times a day to get the answer that I want. And because this is my boy, 9-year-old boy, I am going to do my very best for him. In fact, my husband thought I was neurotic. Well, you know what? I would do the same for you if you were sick and you couldn't get out of bed. Okay? So this is what I said to my husband 30 years ago. So slowly but surely, so there he was at the age of 14. We went for psychology tests, you name it, cognitive behavior to help him to get over his PTSD. And one of the great persons that I met on this journey, absolutely incredible, she said to me, his PTSD might be caused from his diet. I said, diet? How could food make you crazy? I'm going to call it out. How could it make your mind go nuts? Because I did not know anything about this 20 years ago. And she says, do me a favor, before you go and do all of this meds and everything, have him have a food intolerance test by blood, not the skin patch, because the skin patch will only test you for 6 or 7 items, but blood. The blood will break it down to maybe 100 items that you can be allergic to. And I said, again, this was so foreign to me. And I took her suggestion, and I found out he was allergic to gluten, oregano. Can you imagine someone being the herb oregano? I mean, I don't cook very much Italian food, but we did eat a lot of gluten because I loved to bake back then. And slowly we started to wean him off. So he eats relatively a gluten-free diet as of today. And because of the gluten, actually, what it was doing to his body, besides creating a very acidy environment in his body, it acted like speed, like methadone in his head. It really created speed on his brain. In fact, he was thinking so much, so fast, his brain was going to explode. So over the course of the age of 14 to, I would say, 25, we continued the healing journey. The healing journey comprises, as I mentioned before. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining. And feel free to jump in with your questions. I have crossed the old lady line, so I talk a lot now, which is really quite amazes me. And if you missed the beginning part of this talk, just jump back in. So let me get back to my son. 20 years later, we finally figured out what was the right combination of foods to eat. He is on a medication for stress and anxiety, which unfortunately, he's inherited my mother's DNA for mental, I would say, stability. So there's a chemical imbalance. That's what it is. And today, he's a functioning human being because they gave him a label, I would say 20 years ago, that he would never be a fully functioned person. And of course, being the way I am, I challenged the doctor. I really did. I challenged the doctor and said, I don't believe you. I sincerely believe we all have the capability to self-heal. Everybody. Why do we not self-heal? Most of us, traditional society, we are so used to giving away our healing powers to others that we, instead of coming back home to us, we're willing to look outside of ourselves to find the answers. And so what I did with my son after he started to get better, this is when I decided to open up the Healing Place in 2006, because I figured if people out there can learn from my experience, and I am going to teach, and I'm really incredibly passionate about self-healing, and anyone could do this. Anyone could self-heal. And one of my guests that's on today is Jean. Jean has been with me as a client and as a friend for all 15 years of my business. And Jean suffers from what I call ice pick migraines, headaches. And I'm quite sure today she's affected by it because it's gloomy, it's gray, the barometric pressure has changed. And I'm hoping what she's doing is incorporating some of the healing techniques that I showed her what to do on her head and her neck to dummy down the pain. Unfortunately, she suffers pretty much close to 24/7. So she's either in extreme pain or what I call doable pain. So Jean, I love you. I'm hoping you're okay today. So coming back to healing work, why I'm so passionate. And one thing I've learned since 2006, everybody pretty much want the same thing. They really do. They want to feel good about themselves, feel good about their lives, feel good about their health, to be able to attract abundance. Abundance does not necessarily always mean money, even though some people do. Abundance could be joy. Like my abundance, the one that I chase the most is a peace of mind. I need a peace of mind above everything else, because I couldn't do what I do if I didn't have the peace of mind. So what does my peace of mind incorporate? And you can mention yours too. I need a lot of downtime. I need a lot of space, because I am a creator. What does that mean? Besides doing these talks, for those people who have followed me on my social media, you probably know how much content I create. And everything that you see, I have produced. I don't have anyone that says, Helen, let me help you. Let me help you. But I love creating content to help others. In fact, all those years of writing blogs and post what I call self-help, self-care, I decided to take and create an online school, the HealingPlaceEnergySchool. I was going to run the video and show you my new website, but I'm so afraid that I'm going to end up cutting somebody off, and that gets a little bit ugly, so I don't want to do that. So let me do this. One of the things, I want to give you some tips, and feel free to jump in. And if this information is useful to you, please share. Let's build a community. Share, like, follow, I'm going to say the whole BS about the things that we do. If this information resonates with you, practice, incorporate whatever resonates with you. I'm not here to jam down information down anyone's throat. I am not a savior where I'm going to say, oh, I'll pound on my reflexology feet and say, okay, this is what you need to do. Number one, what are your intentions? Don't go into a cycle where, if you notice you have a repetitive, non-productive, negative cycle, this is something you need to do every day, is recognize that cycle and want to be proactive in making a change. I'm going to take a sip here. I didn't want to choke, because I could do that old lady thing and also I'm choking on my saliva or water. That's what my son says. So have the intention to sincerely want to help yourself. All the lip service in the world, I wish I did, I wish I could have, why didn't I? You know what? It's not going to help you. Change requires a plan of action. I don't care how big your plan of action is. You could do step by step, tiny little steps. But I could guarantee you, if you do nothing, nothing is going to come. So make a personal choice how you want to change this. One of the things that when I started all over again at the age of 52, I started a career. I started to educate myself, educate others. And here I am, I'm close to 70 years old. I have decided to start all over again at 2006, during the recession, when there was no one knew what reflexology was. And I'm thinking, man, how am I going to do this? Anyone could start anytime in their life. And if you are feeling shitty about what you're doing, so what? So what? Stop whipping yourself. Stop whipping yourself. Get up. Start again. When my son was feeling so bad about himself, I told him, I will stand by his side. I will not fail, and I will do the very best I can. No one can do better than the best they can. But if you do nothing, then you have failed. All right. Intention. How do you respect your lifestyle? Really respect that. People see me as, well, Helen, you work a lot. Yes, I do. Even at the age of 67, I work every single day. I'm creating content because this is my passion and I love doing this. This is what feeds me to be of service to you. And I do this every day because it feeds my soul. I do a lot of things. For those who follow me, I like to cook. I like to knit. I even groom my dog's hair. And my puppies are cute. So this is really something you got to think about. How do you create life balance? And do you have time for yourself? Do you make time for yourself? Because when we busy out our lives to the point where we can't figure what we need to do next, then there is something really wrong. Like, for example, I had 3 minutes downtime in between the live broadcast once I got all my notes together, make sure I had everything in place. And I'm sitting here going, oh man, I got 3 minutes. What am I going to do for 3 minutes? And I hear myself say, Helen, you're going to sit and breathe and feel your own energy. So I have to take my own advice and just focus on my breath. Stop busying out your life to the point you don't even know what's going on because you feel like your value is what you do. Your value is you. Your value is this, not what you can do or what you could bring home or how much money you make. Your value is you, okay? And one of the things I love asking my clients who come to the Healing Place, where do you fit into your own life? I pray you are not at the bottom of your list. Make yourself a priority. This is how you awaken your inner healer. Because a lot of times when you are at the bottom of your list, you're listening to everyone else except yourself. So something in your heart, or if you have intuition, like most of us do, it's talking to you. It's constantly talking to you. But do you stop long enough to listen to your soul? This is something you need to think about. Or do you override those messages because I don't have time. I gotta go. I gotta pick up the children. I gotta start food. I gotta go get groceries. I gotta do laundry. How do you make time for yourself? My formula that my friend Annie taught me 30 years ago, you must set aside 1 hour a day for yourself. I don't care if it's late at night, you got to find the time. 1 day for yourself. 1 whole day. And preferably 1 week a year just for you. Just for you. Before the pandemic, I was able to go to Peru. I went to Machu Picchu. That was on my life list. And my husband wasn't interested because he wasn't into the spiritual journey like I am. So I went along with a group of people. And people were really astonished that I would leave to go by myself. And I said, well, I know how to travel. That's number 1. 2, what was I afraid of? Could someone jump me in Peru? Yeah, of course somebody could have jumped me in Peru. But I did not radiate that kind of energy. I did not radiate that kind of energy to attract that kind of fear. So that's the intention I set for myself. I knew I was going to be safe. I was not looking for energetic trouble. Does everyone know what I mean by this? Energetic trouble. You're looking for things before they're here because you're trying to over prepare for every single scenario. Heaven forbid you're not prepared and all of a sudden you break down. A lot of time with life journey, it's about being flexible. Can you go with the flow? That's really key. Most people have a tough time with going with the flow because we're not prepared. But you know what? That's okay. It's okay to sweat bullets. All right. So this is something self-respect. Self-respect comprised of curiosity, caring for yourself, and expansion, whatever that means to you, because my expansion may not be the same as yours. Go out of your comfort zone. At this point, for me personally, I have no idea what it's like not to live in my comfort zone. And that's the reason why I create courses on my Healing Place Energy School, such as First Step to Your Spiritual Journey. That's a 15-part course. It's about having the courage, having the faith to take that next step. And especially if you have begun your awakening process, it's really, I think, in my opinion, you could have your own. This is, again, my opinion. It's important to follow through. And once the calling begins to call you, the universe say, hey, Helen, it's time for you to step up. You can choose to bail. You can choose to have a rest life. But what happens is the universe will continuously call you from, I'm going to say this, from lifetime to lifetime until you step up. And how does it begin? With a whisper. And then you keep asking, what am I supposed to do next? Where do I do? What's my life purpose? All of a sudden, the whisper becomes a shout. And then what happens if you keep asking enough? The universe will say, really? Really? How many times do you have to ask? It takes courage. Yes, it does. It takes courage to live your life to the very best you can. And please don't do it from a point of comparison. Don't compare your life with your neighbors. Who has what? In fact, in many ways, that's very meaningless. Just because they look really good, you have no idea what's going on with them. Everyone has struggles, especially if you are evolving internally. And once you begin the awakening process, you can't go back because it won't allow you to live in ignorance anymore. And if your spirit guides are calling you, you can say yes, you can say not now, or you could wait until your next lifetime. For the universe, time means nothing. What's a few thousand lives between friends? You're the one that has the power to create. And if you're constantly repeating the same destructive habits or patterns, think to yourself, why? Why is this repeating for the 100th time? It's the same lesson, but the actors, the scenarios are different, but it's a damn effing lesson. I would swear, but I will have to goof myself if I had a goof button. So the resistance will cause more pain, more heartache, and the feeling of being stuck, I don't know about you, is very painful. So those are my thoughts as of this moment. I was hoping to do more. Um, I was hoping to do reflexology, but you know what? I truly believe energy medicine has to be the platform, the foundation. Because if you don't understand your energy, you really won't know where you are in this moment. And you're definitely not going to know where you're going. Because what happens is if your energy is chaotic, it's going to send you mixed messages, especially if you're radiating desperate energies. So I'm going to give myself a plug here. So this is the reason why. Yes, in between clients, I hope you can see this. It's trying to focus. Know your chakras. You can get my book on Amazon. See, so those are all my books back. Well, I've written 2. I have 4 in progress, but I only could write in between appointments. This is how, and I see approximately 15 to 20 people a week, which is a lot of people. I'm trying to cut back, but there's a lot of people looking for help, and I'm kind of like, in some ways, the last resort. But as I tell people, you don't need me. You don't need me. I'm just an instrument and a tool to get you to where you want to go. So this is my takeaway for you today, to awaken your inner healer. Put on paper. It's nice to talk on in your head. Put in paper, or if you want, put it on your phone. What changes would you like to make as of today? I don't care how big the change is. Do tiny little steps, because people, when they look at the big picture, they get really scared. Start with a tiny step and then create an action plan. What are you going to do to work towards that change? Because all the lip service is not going to get you anywhere. And I'm hoping so start with that, and then we'll talk some more. So if this is something that of value to you, I am more than willing to create more of these Ask the Reflexologist, or Ask the Energy Medicine Practitioner, or even Ask the Reiki Master or Mistress. I call myself a mistress versus a master. And I'll try to create more of these on Sunday morning. So give me a thumbs up, subscribe, like, follow. I wish I didn't have to say all that BS, but it's one of those necessary evils. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a happy and healthy rest of the afternoon. I'm going to be going back and updating my website, the HealingPlaceEnergySchool. Oh my gosh, it's so kick butt what we are offering as new courses. And Jean asked me, when do I sleep? Well, I don't need a lot of sleep because I'm on an energy high. So unless I'm sick, I really don't sleep much. But I love doing what I do. So have a blessed day. I'll talk to you really soon. Share, and let's build a community. Bye-bye.